everybody, and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Avi, and today, words. Today I will be playing a very good doctor. Their name, well, that's not their name. You can call them Inmate 01. And with me today is my wonderful, beloved friend who I love very much.
I'm Mira, and I will be playing Sammy Satomi today.
Yeah. So, Sammy, you've been in the hospital for a while now.
Yep, he has, and I'm actually going to roll a thing to see how well a certain leg is holding up. And he is actually having a really good day today.
That's the power of medical professional, baby!
Yep, a very wonderful medical professional.
Um, I will say, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I will say that, after the, surgery on your leg to remove the bullet that has been giving you so much trouble lately, you did notice that, like, any amount of scarring is extremely minimal. That's how good a doctor your doctor was.
Mm-hmm. He is mildly surprised by that because in the past, a lot of scarring has happened.
Yeah. Um, for clarity's sake, why don't you, explain the nature of the injury and, like, why you had to get it removed?
So, a while back, almost a year, in fact, Sammy had gotten shot in the leg by a certain Simon Sinclair, mainly to keep him from running, uh, as Sammy was wont to do. And it stayed in there because Sammy is not very trusting of hospitals and doctors, stares at his urchin background. Anyways, but more recently, he had um, been in a case that was very similar to his own backstory, where he got the gunshot in the first place. And he got hit with a spell that was very cold. And what happens when metal is very cold? It freezes. And uh, frostbite. Ouch. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was not good.
It really is not. And you've been walking around with this bullet in your leg for, what? You said a year now?
Basically, almost a year. It's a few months shy of a year.
Yeah, almost a year of this, bullet in your leg. Um. Sorry, the way I said that, I just realized. um. What was I gonna say? Recently, you did go through quite a bit of cases that were physically intensive,
Mm-hmm.
which did require you to, be set back in terms of, like, physical therapy. But luckily, after the, disappearance of Camille Christie, your party was redirected to this specific hospital in Villestown, where,
Yep.
yeah, where a certain sorry, I need to look away from the gallery. A certain real kind doctor who is very good at their job was able to assist you with your leg. And I keep fidgeting with my dice and dropping it. So if you hear me rolling, I'm not actually rolling. Gosh, where was I? So you are, so you've only recently got that bullet removed. Frostbite and all treated, and like I said, minimal scarring.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, where you're at currently is just a little bit of physical therapy. Um, and it's probably around this time where you get a knock on your door.
He with an 18, I think he actually manages to walk over to the door himself and pull it open. Just, hello?
And standing right there in the doorway is your doctor. Uh, Again, real kind, human. You are taller than they are. Hang on.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I remember if I put their height on their sheet. Yeah, they are 5'7". You are 6 feet.
Several inches taller than the good doctor.
Yeah, the very good doctor. And they see that you are standing and walking around, and they just say, "Oh, I just came by to check on you."
I appreciate it, doctor. Do do you want to come in? Um, and he just kind of fumbles for words because I.
Yeah, they just kind of nod.
So yeah, Sammy's gonna like just kind of walk over to his bed and sit down at the edge of it, and there it's a hospital room. There are places for a doctor to sit.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a very socially awkward doctor. They are holding a clipboard in their hand, you know,
Mm-hmm.
very, very hospital-like. Um, that has essentially... Thank you, gallery, again! No, Zumi's in the other room. Leave him alone. Um, um, they do kind of stand to, like, give you, like, a look over. Do you want to roll, I guess, insight? Insight or perception?
Let's go with perception. That's higher.
Alright.
Oh, it's a 23, a unnatural 23.
Alright, cool. I love that. Oh, sorry, excuse me. With an unnatural 23, you do see that this doctor... I'm not sure if you've, like, interacted them before your surgery very much. But you do notice that, there is that, words. Give me a sec as I sort through my thoughts.
You're so valid.
Okay. Well, this is a perception check. You do notice that, they do have, like, a badge that signifies that they are a doctor and that they work in this hospital currently. However, that badge doesn't really have a name on it. No semblance of a name tag. But not only that, you notice that whenever they do look at you to like to speak with you, they don't really look you. They really don't make direct eye contact. It's mostly them trying to like make it look like they're making eye contact, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
little tricks like looking at your nose, um looking at your forehead, looking at something behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they do look over their clipboard and they say as I look at what you rolled, um that is a 14.
I kind of mentally put the DC as 15 because Sammy has a history of just forgetting that real kind have different cultural things, so he's not even gonna question it. He missed it by one. He's just gonna look at that and then just go, oh, their name is Doctor. Cool.
Ah! You know, considering some of the interactions they've had in the past, it might as well be their name. Um,
Mm-hmm.
where was I?
They were looking at the
Yeah,
not keyboard, the clipboard.
yeah, they look over the clipboard, and they say, I see that, physical therapy has been going well.
Yeah, it's been kind of hard, but I feel like I'm getting into the swing of it. Today is actually a really good day, as you probably noticed when I actually opened the door for once.
They nod. Um, it is very, out of character, it is very difficult for them to emote. Um, but in
Mm-hmm.
character, I don't know if Sammy knows that.
No,
Um,
I'm kind of just since he kind of like he's just accepting the doctor as he's accepting inmate just as they are at this point because he doesn't have any other frame of reference.
oh, beloved. Thank you, Gallery. Autistic to autistic communication.
Honestly, yes, because Sammy's the kind of autistic who will just kind of stare and over make eye contact with you because he's learned that, oh, this is technically supposed to be the way you're supposed to actually communicate with someone, right? So like
Beloved.
so like in a group situation, I haven't actually mentioned this, but he will actually turn his entire body to look at whoever is speaking, and like if it like switches to someone else, he will turn to that person and just look at them.
Oh, Sammy, my goddamn beloved. Um, meanwhile, inmate just sort of stands there. They are
So
they're a little socially awkward, as I've said.
I hold so soft.
Um, what was I gonna say? They nod and, like I said, inmates pretty bad at emoting, physically,
Mm-hmm.
but they just kind of like make a note of you being, you know, doing better. And
Mm-hmm.
they say, I'm glad that today is a good day for you.
Yeah, I am too. I I I need to thank you again because it you made it so that it doesn't really stand out on my leg. It it's nice to have that.
Oh
And
god.
he just rubs at the back of his neck. He looks a little embarrassed. He has like a hot shade of pink on his shading right now.
There's no need to thank me. I am a doctor, that's what I do.
I it Yeah, but you're one of the best I've met. So I'm glad I met you and that you were able to help. It means a lot.
Sorry, the baby started whining a little bit. um, uh,
It's okay. I hold the baby soft.
um, um, as I try to think of how they would respond to that, I don't think they
Mhm.
do.
They're so valid.
uh, you can roll insight on this if you want. I simply hold a doctor.
Okay, insight. Let's go. Oh, that's a 9. Come on, dice parser. Where were the nice rolls you
I
were
look
giving
away.
me?
Looks away. This is an
If you
FPS.
want,
We
I
do what we
can.
want.
Okay, fine. I'll roll again.
All right.
There we go. That's nicer. 17.
All right. All right. So this doctor who you've been speaking with is kind of just like standing there, and they had been like doing that thing where they're like masking, looking towards you. But when you
Mm-hmm.
say all those fucking nice things, they kind of look back at their clipboard.
Mm-hmm.
You get the impression that one, the idea of being anything other than good, like anything less than good, is simply not a concept to them. Two,
Mm-hmm.
you get the impression that this doctor is so woefully unsocialized, they don't know how to properly take a compliment.
I hold them so soft.
So they
Like
just
Sammy feels that though.
so they're just kind of like standing there silently and nodding like, okay, yeah, I guess, help.
Sam's just like I don't know how to do anything other than just yes, this is my feelings, but also shrug. He doesn't know how to help.
I probably should have looked up stuff in relation to physical therapy before this.
I gently pat. That's a mood.
Yeah. Um,
From my experience going to physical therapy, though, basically it's usually, at least in my experience, like 1 hour increments of very light exercises to help get you stronger. Like a lot of stretching, a lot of
mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. Uh, since Sammy was hitting the leg, I would expect there probably to be some balancing exercises. Um,
Yeah. I think in that case, inmate just kind of nods, and after not being able to process whatever it was that just happened, cough, cough, getting complimented, cough, cough.
I hold so softly.
uh, they just kind of go back to whatever it is that they do best, which is being a doctor. And um, what they end up saying is that I as there's talking in the background, give me a sec.
You're so valid.
Okay, we're good. Um, I think what inmate says is all right. Well, should you be able to make good progress. I do believe that you will be able to be discharged from the hospital in good time. For now, though, I recommend to keep your exercises light so that you do not strain your leg. Remember to stretch well before your physical therapy sessions. And in the future, try to refrain from anything too extensive that may put stress on your injury.
Sammy's just nodding, like, that makes sense, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of does pause a little bit at the make sure not to do super extensive work.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes, I don't know if the plot would let me. I kind of need my leg to run in certain circumstances. And like he just kind of starts muttering under his breath.
As I quickly roll an insight. What's your insight mod? Oh yeah, I forgot I gave you proficiency in this. Or at least I thought I did. No, I did not. Okay. Anyway. Not that it fucking matters, cause God, you rolled so well.
Yeah, with a 22, you, inmate, you realize that this young man probably is going to get into situations similar to, what probably got him injured in the first place, considering, his line of work as a detective, even if he's a reckless one.
Oh my God. There's a moment where, like, inmate kind of, like, watches you as you kind of, like, mumble under your breath. Out of character, inmate doesn't adopt, they just pick up new patients. That's how they express concern.
Mm-hmm.
They look at you, a Toon, and they know that Toons have a thing with the plot.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know if that's real or not, but from what they understand, the plot is real for Toons.
Wiggles.
You are a Toon. Sometimes you just simply get put into situations.
Yep.
And, there is a moment where inmate pauses. And that pause could very well... that pause could very well be filled with a sigh. But again, I pat roof of, this doctor. They are bad at emoting. They kind of pause and they kind of correct themselves and say, within reason, I understand if certain things happen unexpectedly. But in any case, you should see a physician if things put too much stress on your legs. And, how do I put this? And if things get to be too much for you, you should know when to pull out when possible.
That gets a guilty wince from Sammy. Because, right, self-care.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This doctor will bully you into self-care without realizing it's bullying.
And we love them for it. Just Sammy just going, right. Retreating is a value. It's a form of honor, right?
Mm-hmm. Your
Okay.
well-being takes priority.
Hey, inmate, do you want to roll insight?
Yeah, here we go. Okay, that's low, but you have a decent mod in wisdom because I rolled. That's an 11.
Yeah, so you say your well-being takes priority, and there is something there that struck a chord, and also B, with an 11, it's kind of hard to read because it's a little too subtle for you. But there's an issue there.
Mm. They aren't entirely sure what that issue is, but I think what they do is that they kind of look back at you and they say, if needed, I can provide medication, some form of painkillers. This is not a solution, but it is something to help you if you are in a situation in which you are unable to reach medical assistance properly or quickly.
And, and Sammy kind of just he was like directly staring at you, inmate, but he looks away and he okay. Do you really want to say that, buddy? All right. Uh, he he just if I can't get medical attention, I don't right away when it's necessary. I don't think I'm going to get medical attention in a way that would help. Thank you, doctor.
Ah! Alright, this doctor is staring at you now.
He's not making eye contact.
As I try to figure out what they are going to say.
I sit here with my head in my hands.
Why do you say that?
Oh gosh, Sammy's giving me things, but it's like sensation. I can't actually like put it into words. And he's not looking at you, uh, inmate. He's just he after a moment of silence, he just goes, if I'm in if something happens and I can't get medical attention right away, means something is preventing me, and I don't think they would let me even access my hammer space if that were to happen. So I don't think the painkillers would help.
Having them on hand is better than not at all.
But they should go to someone who can actually use them.
Such as yourself.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, I did not know you have proficiency in persuasion? Hi, inmate! When did you get that? Oh, I know why. Okay, this is exactly the reason why. As I try to think of a way for them to flavor this.
A 17 does work.
Yeah, as I try to think of what else they say,
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to it, your health is in your own hands. It is your choice to have the tools required, whether or not you are able to access them immediately. However, that does not deny your worth in receiving treatment. You are just as valuable as any other life. Please. You are my patient, and I would much rather prevent something drastic from happening.
And that's probably when his shoulders slump because he doesn't want to inconvenience the doctor.
As the gallery starts talking about soccer. Thank you, guys. Call out post on recording. I love you, beloveds. No, you're fine, guys. They kind of look at you. They kind of look at you and kind of expectantly, like they aren't going to do anything until you give them the verbal say-so.
Mm-hmm. And he just kind of quietly goes, if you really think it would help, then I guess I can't refuse.
They nod and write down a note on their clipboard. For the audience, because Sammy cannot see this, for the audience, inmate has written down not only the thing about prescribing some form of painkillers, they also make a note about, this patient has some, I guess, mental health issues, and they are not a therapist. They are going to try and talk to someone to see if they can find, like, an actual proper psychiatrist for Sammy.
I hold so softly.
Congratulations, you are this doctor's patient. They have decided.
Sammy has been patiented.
is as close to adoption as you're gonna get from inmate.
Just no, inmate's right though. He does need a therapist.
Unfortunately, inmate hasn't been in Billstown for too long, so they don't know anybody local. That said, though, they are not afraid to ask for the sake of a patient.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something else.
I hold so soft.
As I try and figure out, oh, inmate, do you really want to do this?
Me going, oh.
Okay. I think inmate kind of takes a moment to finish writing that note down and readjust themselves. And they kind of give you as close to their full attention as possible. I once again look at the fact that they are unable to they are unable to make eye contact.
Mm-hmm. And we love them.
Yeah. But they say on unrelated to your injuries, there was something that I would like to ask you.
He actually looks at them full on now, like, and just tilts his head, like, huh?
If you do know that you will be running into certain things, cases, and whatnot in which the chances of physical injury is high, I would like to offer my services as your... Oh, I forgot the proper term. Oh, there it is. As your primary physician.
And inmate, you don't have to roll insight for this. You see Sammy actually relax. And he just nods and goes, that would be really appreciated. Thank you, doctor.
And they nod in return. And on a different page, they make a note about this, and they say, I will be sure to provide a means of contact for you before you leave the hospital.
Oh, I do have a phone number because plot dictated I have one of those somehow. Well, give me a sec. And he's gonna pull out his hammer space, and that's an 8, and he pulls out a little card that has his number on it and just hand it to inmate. And it's he has it, he holds 2 corners in both his hands and just kind of presents it to inmate with a little bow for them to take.
That sure is a way to present a phone number, but they kind of just take it carefully and they look it over.
Mm-hmm. It's a simple little business card that has his full name on it, Sammy Satomi, and his number, and also his occupation, which is detective.
And inmate nods at this, and they do slide it under the clip for the actual clipboard so they don't lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. They are now going to bother you. You are...
Well,
officially their patient.
Woo! Success. Sammy is both happy and also a little nervous. Not gonna lie.
Should I roll insight on that?
It's kind of clear on his face, especially considering the fact that he has some mildly lilac shading, which I feel like inmate would have spent at least a little bit of enough time to realize that means he's a little nervous, but there's also a slight outline of yellow, which means it's kind of more of the excited nervous. Just because he's never actually had a primary care physician before. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I think what inmate says, they say, as your doctor, it is my job to take your health as priority. If you ever need anything, do not be afraid to reach out and tell me what is wrong. I will be able to provide assistance.
Thank you, doctor. And I appreciate it.
And they nod. Unfortunately, I do not have a... And they kind of pause, and there's like, if they were a 2, there would be like a visible dot dot dot. And they say, I do not have a phone, but my warden will be able to to receive any calls you make if you need me for anything.
Sammy's gonna pause at Warden and just he's gonna make another perception check just to check in on inmate because his own backstory. Warden is a scary connotation.
Okay, that is a modified 22.
He's basically looking to see if inmate has any scars from extreme internment.
No. As far as you can tell, again, they are a doctor, they are wearing a coat, but as far as you can tell, there is no physical injury or visible sign of physical injury. When they refer to their warden, there is kind of like a neutral tone.
Mm-hmm.
Not like their usual neutral. It's like, oh, this is just somebody who's been with me ever since I arrived in Ainquil, and they have been keeping an eye on me. What else? Because 22 is really good. However, with the 22, you do notice that they are actually, in spite of not being able to properly express it, they are kind of happy that you managed to accept them as your primary physician. They do take their job incredibly seriously as a doctor. So the fact that you said yes is probably something that is like really, really good to them in their mind.
I hold them so soft.
Sorry, I read the gallery. as I think now would be a good time for Sammy to notice that, hey, this man is real kind. They are real kind. They don't have a name tag.
Mm-hmm. And it probably finally kind of clicks of, wait, they're not a Toon. They're probably not like the professor either.
Yeah. You never know.
Like, there's a reason why I put the DC initially at 15, because I point at some of the real kind that Sammy is friends with. They have titles for names.
Seeker, Professor.
Yep. Of course he's not gonna blink.
Sammy, my goddamn beloved.
But I do feel like he does kind of just pause and go, wait. And he just kind of tilts his head and goes, Doctor, do you have any other titles you would like to be referred by? I just know the doctor element, so I don't know if you have any other ones you'd like to be called by.
Sorry, I just read the gallery again. Thank you, Marcy. Inmate just they kind of hesitate for a moment before they just say, Doctor is fine.
Okay. I got worried for a second that I was calling you something that you thought was rude. I don't know why I thought that, but because you are a really good doctor, and he just kind of starts trailing off and just rubs his head.
They tilt their heads, so very confused. Again, no change in expression. Their head is just a little bit tilted, like, okay.
It's kind of his face and goes, I just remembered that most real kind actually have first and last names, but I know a lot of real kind who go by titles, so I didn't think about it until just now.
Inmate kind of straightens and purposefully look down at their clipboard. And there is a quiet moment before they say, I do not know my first and last name. I do not remember it.
Sammy just kind of freezes and goes, I am so sorry. He feels really bad now for bringing it up. He's just like, I'm sorry if I brought up bad memories or the lack of memories. I'm just gonna stop talking because I feel like I'm putting my foot in my mouth.
I look at the title of this FPS. And roll credits!
Oh my gosh.
Why was your first response a goddamn joke, buddy?
Probably because Sammy is exhibiting signs of stress.
Yeah,
and jokes seem to help.
Signs of stress, and also, when they were talking to Camille, they got 2 jokes, and Camille did laugh at them. But I will, fair warning, inmate is bad at jokes. Their
Bring
delivery is flat as all hell.
Bring it, I wish to perceive.
Inmate says, I do not have memories, let alone any that can be considered bad.
He kind of like does like a little choked laugh, and he goes, "Oh, that was a bad joke, doctor. It was a good joke, but also." And he just kind of trails off into a snort.
Inmate just nods, their work here is done.
They have done well. They have gotten a good grade in being doctor, which is good and willing to, good and, something to achieve, to want to achieve.
It's a totally normal thing to want to achieve.
Oh, man.
It is totally normal.
Yep, absolutely. I hold inmate so soft.
Mm-hmm. They are just a simple doctor. But after seeing that they got you to laugh, they continue, and say, in regards to titles, however, some of my patients have taken to calling me by nicknames. You are free to do the same if you wish.
If you don't mind it, I guess I could refer to you as Doc.
They nod. No insight needed. Just being referred to doc or doctor or any variation of makes them incredibly happy.
Oh, I hold them so soft.
This is literally all they want in life.
I hold them so soft, Avi. So yeah, Sammy's seeing that, he's just kind of like, nod, nod. Doc it is.
And
He will keep referring to them as Doc.
I don't really have much of anything else. I think what inmate does, is that they nodded that, they accept that. You could tell that they accept that wholeheartedly.
I hold so soft.
And I think, what they end up saying is, do you have, anything you would like to ask? I may be able to answer any questions or concerns.
I guess if you have any recommendations for good stretches or something that I can do while on the go, that might help.
Oh, that's hilarious. Because, fun fact, inmate is not athletic. They have, I think it was a negative modifier? Yeah, they have a -1 in strength. Finding them armor when they are a cleric is very difficult. But the FPS in which they got their proper armor for when they are out in the field, established that they do get training to not fight, which is basically just like self-defense. So they do know quite a few stretches. So I just had the mental image of inmate, like, telling Sammy about these different stretches while also showing them. So Sammy has a reference.
I hold so soft and Sammy appreciates it so much.
So, yeah, we've been going on for a good portion. Do you think that's a good place to end?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think that's a really good spot to end it. Just, I hold inmate so soft, Avi.
Yes, and as... Oh, I'm so glad you love this little doctor. They're just a little funny guy.
They're such a good bean.
And the scene ends with inmate just kind of just setting the clipboard down, and they decide to show you these different stretches for your legs that can help not only like warm them up, but also like stretch out the muscles, and also some cool down stretches and whatnot. And that is where we're going to end for today. Thank you so much for playing with me, Mira.
Thank you for playing with me. It was so good. I hold so soft.
Yes, I do a happy stim. Sammy has a position.
Yes, good. You can now refer them to Sasha.
Inmate is your physician, and just so it's on the recording, you will get like proper contact info, probably directly from Hawthorne himself. Hawthorne, who is inmate's warden. I don't know if I said that. But yeah. And thank you so much to everybody who is listening both now and in the future. My wonderful, wonderful audience who keeps distracting me. For now, though, we're going to bid you a good time zone. Bye-bye!